This girl has been different since childhood. People take dogs for a walk, and she takes a scorpion for a walk. Growing up, she also dances very strange choreography. One year, she changes 8 schools. Now she goes to a new school. As soon as she opens the closet, she sees Pugsley tied up inside. She asks who bullied him. But he doesn't know who they are. When the girl touched Pugsley's hand, an illusion suddenly appears in her mind. Those bullying her younger brother appears. Only Wednesday is allowed to bully her younger brother. She decides to go to the swimming pool. Those people curse her as a freak. I'm the only one who can bully my younger brother. After speaking, she dumps live piranhas into the pool. The next second, many piranhas swim towards those people. Hearing their scream, Wednesday smiles. Then she is forced to change school. Her parents decide to send her to Nevermore school. There are all the descendants of monsters. But Wednesday doesn't want to go. Please remind my parents, I won't talk to them anymore. As soon as entering the door, her mother is amazed. The weather is great today. The principal enthusiastically welcomes them as she used to be her mother's roommate. She arranges for Wednesday to stay where they used to stay. Enid warmly welcomes Wednesday. After that, Enid takes Wednesday to tour the school. There are Dracula who has studied in school for decades. And some will turn into werewolves on the night of the full moon. There is also a siren student. The girl named Bianca who is the queen of Nevermore Academy, although recently, she is about to fail to keep her crown. Previously, she was in love with our bullied artist Xavier. But at the beginning of the school year, they broke up. It's a bit interesting. At this time, a friend reveals to Enid that Wednesday used to eat people, telling Enid to be careful. Actually, I cut the victim's corpse into slices of meat and fed them to my pet. After visiting the school, Wednesday's parents leaves. They are not assured and leave Thing to supervise their daughter. At night, Wednesday scrape off the stickers on the glass door, dividing the bedroom into 2 halves. She warns Enid never to bother her or she will be severely punished. But Enid is a werewolf, how can that be acceptable? At this time, the dormitory manager comes, bringing a gift for Wednesday, and announcing the rules that must be followed at school. But Wednesday does not want to obey. In fencing class, she sees her classmate being defeated by Bianca, so she challenges the strongest person. Oh, you're definitely the psychopath they let in here. Hearing this, Wednesday mocks her as a self-proclaimed queen bee. The teacher gives an order, and the two rush to fight. After a while of fighting, Wednesday gains points first, but not long after, Bianca takes the lead again. Then Wednesday is not satisfied and suggests a military fight, which means not wearing a mask during the fight. Who bleeds first will lose. After listening, the classmates are all surprised, and the competition quickly begins. After a while, Bianca has the upper hand. Finally, Wednesday loses. While treating his wound, the bullied guy says thank to Wednesday. But Wednesday doesn't pay any attention to him, and leaves the room angrily. At this moment, she feels something's wrong, so she turns around, takes a look, and leaves. When she enters the schoolyard, the stone statue on the roof falls down. Luckily, she is saved by her classmate. After waking up, Wednesday not only does not thank Xavier, but also says she doesn't want to be saved. When she returns to the dormitory, Wednesday discovers under the blanket Thing her parents left to monitor her. Wednesday presses it firmly on the table. Thing has to tap its fingers. To beg for mercy, she knows it's here to supervise her. Despite its explanation, Wednesday gives it 2 choices. I will lock you in the drawer for the rest of this semester. Or you swear to be loyal to me forever. After a while, Thing chooses to be loyal to her. The next day, the principal takes Wednesday for psychological treatment. After hearing this, Wednesday mocks her that this useless type of emotional testing lowers her status. During the psychological treatment, Wednesday says she wants to go to the bathroom. Getting out of the doctor's vision, she tells Thing to give her a nail clipper. Wednesday uses it to open the locked window and climb out. When she knows the principal's location, she slides down the pipe and runs away. But while crossing the street, she crashes into a salesman. The unfortunate event that this man would encounter appears in her mind. Who let this freak out? She goes straight into the cafe without caring about that man. She intends to bribe the store employee to take her out of the village. But Tyler doesn't say anything. Wednesday has no choice but to help him fix the new coffee maker to win his affection. Tyler decides to take Wednesday to the nearest bus stop after work. But while waiting for Tyler to get off work, 3 people say Wednesday is a monster. As a result, she teaches a lesson. In Tyler's surprised eyes, she knocks down these 3 on the floor. At this time, Tyler's father, also the police chief, comes over, even though Tyler explains to his dad what just happened. But he still doubts Wednesday. Luckily, the principal appears promptly. When she calls Wednesday by her full name, the sheriff knows she is a descendant of Adams. Don't tell me your dad is Gomez Adams. She not only can't run away but also is noticed by the police. The principal had to take Wednesday back to school. On the way they sees an accident of the salesman she met before. This made her realize her abilities. When returning to school, Wednesday plays the cello to relieve her frustrated feelings. Everyone is captivated by this wonderful melody. Rowan, whom Wednesday helped before, goes to a secret room and picks up an ancient book. It seems like he wants to make some plan. Enid goes up to the roof. Tonight is the night of the full moon. Wednesday is curious why Enid doesn't transform. But Enid only shows her claws, because this is all her ability. She does not seem to have the ability to transform. Although her mother once comforted that she was just slower than everyone else. But she once went to find the best werewolf expert. He said Enid may never be able to transform. She will be kicked out of the clan, becoming a lone wolf and never find her other half. Wednesday uses her own way to comfort Enid. Seeing Enid's sadness, Wednesday has to tell her about her childhood stories to make her feel less sad. On the other side, Tyler hears a knock on the door. When he opens the window, Thing sneaks into the room, scaring Tyler. He doesn't expect Thing to be so strong. Tyler loses his weapon and has to obey the hand's command. According to the instructions, the two connect to a video call. They discuss meeting a few days later, and Tyler would take Wednesday and leave. Time passes, the appointed day comes, she has to escape from the principal's supervision. She uses her ability to win a special prize. Then give it to the principal. And while she is distracted, Wednesday disappears and goes to the meeting point. Tyler also gives her a farewell gift, which is the investigation file about Wednesday's father. But when the two of them are about to leave, the three beaten that day come along. They have to run into the crowd to hide from being chased. But while running away, Wednesday collides with Rowan. An illusion appears in her head showing that Rowan would soon die. To save him, Wednesday chases after him, stopping him to explain, but he attacked her. He uses his superpowers to pin Wednesday to a large tree. Then he calls a piece of paper out of his pocket. That is a prophetic book written by Rowan's mother. She is a super prophet. 25 years ago, she painted this picture. Mom told Rowan that, if the girl in the painting appears at school, he would have to kill her. When Rowan is about to finish off Wednesday, a giant monster appears, throwing him to the ground. After a while of roaring, it uses its claws to finish off Rowan. Everything happened is exactly like the illusion in Wednesday's head. Late at night, Wednesday looks at the prophetic painting and the investigation file about her father. On the glass ball, suddenly the figures of parents appear. They ask how things were going last week. Everything happened here starts to make Wednesday excited. Police search for several hours but do not find Rowan's body. There are no traces at the scene. After the police come to find Wednesday, they begin to suspect she is lying. The three go to the principal's office. Wednesday recounts the entire incident in detail, but the principal thinks Rowan just runs away. Wednesday confirms that Rowan is killed by a monster. Suddenly the principal stands up, interrupts the conversation and asks her to come back. Actually, Wednesday wants to talk to the sheriff privately. The Addams family has always been very special, so he gives Wednesday an extra 5 minutes. Wednesday says that if the body disappears, it means someone wants to hide the truth. Thinking about the previous case of a crushed corpse, the sheriff begins to feel hesitant. At this moment something unexpected happened. Rowan appears completely unharmed, leaving the two extremely shocked. His appearance makes everyone think Wednesday is a liar. This made her extremely frustrated. Even when undergoing therapy, she no longer wants to argue with the doctor. She meets Tyler for treatment. When everyone doesn't believe her, Tyler says he believes her. This makes the cold Wednesday suddenly feel touched. That night Wednesday decides to investigate alone. While observing the painting, she discovers a secret on it. Through the light, a mysterious mark appears on the paper. Wednesday goes to the principal's office saying she wants to talk to Rowan. But the principal tells her that Rowan has been expelled. This afternoon he would take the first train to leave here, but the principal is also curious what happened that night. Even though Wednesday tells her in great detail, the principal doesn't believe her. Because she and her mother were once classmates. She knows that Wednesday has definitely inherited her mother's ability to see supernatural illusions, but she reminds Wednesday that those illusions are not trustworthy and also very dangerous. Hearing that, Wednesday feels upset. To clarify her own confusion, she has to go see Rowan herself. So, she goes out of school to find Rowan. But he tells her, "Go away, don't bother me." Even so, Wednesday still has her way. She tells Thing to climb into the car. The answer will be revealed very quickly. When they arrive at the bus stop, Thing follows closely behind Rowan. But then it is held back by the chewing gum. Rowan goes into the bathroom, and then goes out again in the appearance of a silver-haired man. When Thing goes into the bathroom, it only sees an abandoned suitcase. Looking around to see no one, he pulls down his collar and transforms into the principal. Because Thing does not get any results, Wednesday decides to go to the scene to seek clue. But as soon as she arrives, someone covers her mouth. It turns out the sheriff has also come here. It is Tyler who saves her. To avoid being detected by hunting dogs, he brings coffee to hide the smell. Wednesday sees Rowan's glasses at the scene. When she picks it up, the illusion appears again. She sees Rowan controlling the statue falling towards her. A mysterious book falls out. This book is an important factor in finding the answer. The next step is to find it. But Wednesday looks through the entire library and finds no trace of the book. At this time, the dormitory manager arrives. Wednesday shows her the mysterious picture. She says this is the symbol of an organization called Nightshades, but a few years ago it was disbanded. Right here, the search for books has to be put aside. Tomorrow the school has an important event, the boat race held once a year. Wednesday changes into a werewolf costume and joins Enid, preparing to give Bianca a lesson. The winning team will receive some privileges. When the gun fires, the race officially begins. Team Siren has been the champion for many years. They compete regardless of the rules. During the competition, they can use any type of weapon to attack their opponent. Team Siren is able to win because they have outside support. These things are all discovered by Wednesday. They also prepared early, a fishing net is shot out to capture Siren. The remaining 3 teams speed to shore, and soon everyone comes ashore. They have to get the flag and then boat back. But when Wednesday gets the flag and just touches the wall, she suddenly faints. In her illusion, she sees a girl who looks exactly like her. Then a laugh wakes Wednesday up. After the Siren team leaves, Wednesday turns to look at the construction behind and leaves with doubts. On the way back, the clown team was mistreated by the werewolves, unable to become champion. In the end there are only 2 teams left. The werewolf team prepares to attack the Siren team, but the Siren team's supporter comes again. The werewolf team is about to touch the buoy. Thing sees the situation and jumps into the water, punching Siren unconscious. The results need not be said. The werewolf team becomes the champions. But facing her teammates' smile, Wednesday finds it extremely boring, so she leaves to sit alone. When she raises her head, she discovers that the pattern on the book in the statue's hand is the logo of the Nightshades. Her intuition tells her that this bronze statue is not simple. Wednesday night comes here again. This statue is the first principal here. When he was alive, he loved solving puzzles. The book in his hand might be a puzzle book. Wednesday uses her super intelligence to quickly solve puzzles. The first letters of these sentences are the answer. Clap hands twice and the door behind the statue will open. Inside is the secret library of the Nightshades. There is a thick layer of dust in here, only the dust on a book is different. Wednesday takes it out and this is the book where Rowan tore the picture. But when she is about to leave with the book, suddenly her head is covered. The boy eats too much marshmallow and throws it up to another's face. Then he is pressed onto the scaffold. Wednesday encounters this scene and helps that friend. Facing the man's attack, she is not afraid. With just 2 blows, she defeats him. Wednesday is only here because last night she was kidnapped by a mysterious person. Before those people said anything, she recognizes them. You can take off your mask, Bianca. This is a new Nightshades founded by elite students, but Wednesday absolutely despises them. After mocking them, she immediately unties the rope and leaves. Before leaving, she doesn't forget to say it is because of people like them, the kidnapping looks bad. Returning to the dormitory, Wednesday discovers that there is someone else in the book besides her. Right then, the school organizes a volunteer activity, all the students go into town to volunteer. It is also convenient for Wednesday to investigate about the pilgrim. Getting out of the car, she meets Xavier. He is a member of the new Nightshades. Wednesday takes out an ancient prophetic painting and learns the pilgrim's name, Joseph Crackstone. He is the founder of this town. People even build a pilgrim world for him. Wednesday goes to this place and sees Eugene being bullied. She helps him as she feels he resembles her younger brother. Right after that, Wednesday uses her braces to open the locked door. The inside is filled with the pilgrim's relics. Thing points Wednesday to a picture on the wall. That was the place where pilgrims gathered in 1625. But what surprises Wednesday is that the girl in her illusion is also there holding a book. Then she finds a book in a display cabinet called AMLA. But when Wednesday turns it over, it is a blank book that is only sold for $2.95. The clue is interrupted. Wednesday goes looking for Tyler. Because he was born and raised here, he will definitely know where the first gathering place of pilgrims is. But Tyler tells her that place is now very dangerous and becomes a gathering place for vagrants. But Wednesday is not afraid, but seems to like it. At dusk, she walks there alone. A vagrant appears and speaks to her angrily. This is my area, get out of here. Thing is immediately ordered to handle this guy. Even if it's just a hand, it's enough to deal with a vagrant. It grabs his neck and pulls him out the door. It then taps the ground, telling Wednesday to touch the wall. But her illusion is not of her control. To prove it, Wednesday touches that wall. Wednesday is about to leave. But when she pushes the door open, she is transported back to 1625. A group of pilgrims surrounded a little girl, shouting to burn her to death. The girl was helplessly pushed around. At this time, Joseph came out of the crowd, saying she was a witch. Tonight he would execute her by fire. But according to the girl's description, Joseph came here with pilgrims to invade their land. He was truly the devil. He angrily slapped the girl, then threw her into the food warehouse. In here, people who Joseph called misfits were locked up. He will burn them all in the food warehouse. Except for the girl, everyone was tied to the ground. Seeing the fire about to spread, the mother told her to run away. If successful, revenge must be taken. In the desperate look of her mother, the girl entered a secret way. But before she could run far, she was caught up by Joseph. You can't escape. Wednesday wakes up. The illusion helps her know the girl's identity. Her name is Goody Adams. Probably Wednesday's ancestor 400 years ago. When Wednesday wants to leave, she hears a strange sound. The next moment the monster killing Rowan appears, but it does not attack Wednesday. Seeing a rare opportunity, Wednesday chases after it. Although she couldn't find the monster, she discovers that the footprints have turned into footprints. So that means this monster is transformed by humans. Right then, Xavier appears behind her. This makes Wednesday suspicious. After returning to town, she looks at the Joseph statue. The hatred in her heart burns up. But the hand soon understands. At the bronze statue's opening ceremony, Wednesday performs on the cello. The hand quietly begins to move. The fire quickly spreads to the statue in the lake. A loud explosion bursts out, and the bronze statue is quickly covered in huge flames. Everyone runs away in fear. The feeling of revenge makes Wednesday smile. The principal suddenly turns around and sees everything. She knows for sure this is caused by Wednesday. The destruction of the bronze statue makes people angry. The principal receives countless letters of complaint. But without evidence, she can't punish Wednesday. At night the vagrant returns to his place. While he is playing with the stolen camera, that monster appears again and attacks him. Surprisingly, the camera captures all these scenes. When the police arrive, the sheriff gets the camera. He finally sees the monster's true face. Wednesday starts to feel something wrong. It is too coincident. This coincidence is evidence. Goody Adams's warning to Joseph happened in the past and the monster is now. She knows these three coincidences are related. The sheriff thinks the monster is only in the school, but in reality there are monsters everywhere. There are monsters around us that are extremely dangerous. They don't use their sharp teeth to threaten, but just hide in dark corners until no one notices and they suddenly attack. More and more secrets are exposed. Wednesday will continue to investigate until the truth is found. The vagrant is killed by the monster. To investigate the truth, Wednesday needs Thing to go into the ventilation duct, jump on top of the camera, cover it with black gum, then open the morgue door for Wednesday to enter. After that, she takes out the surgical tools. Thing goes to the office to photocopy documents about the monster attack cases. When Wednesday sees the vagrant's body, she discovers that his left leg has disappeared. At this moment, Thing notices that someone is coming outside and quickly informs Wednesday. She immediately closes the door and flee. The sheriff and forensic doctor are coming. The doctor has a suspicion to report to the sheriff. He opens the freezer and says the vagrant's left leg has had 2 toes professionally amputated. How could a monster know how to use a surgical saw? The sheriff tells him to bring the results of the examination to his office when available. Then he leaves, and the forensic doctor discovers something unusual. A door of the morgue cabinet is not closed. He curiously pulls out the corpse inside and touches it with his hand. He decides to have surgery on it tomorrow. Thing opens the door to let Wednesday out. After opening, to its surprise, she wants to stay 5 more minutes. When she returns to the dormitory, she pins documents on the blackboard, making her roommate shocked. Ignoring her friend's feelings, Wednesday explains. All parts of the victim are cut out by the monster. From the kidneys to the fingers, to the gallbladder, to the toes. The killer is not a random killer, but a skilled serial killer, collecting loot. But before she finishes speaking, Enid faints. In the botany lesson, Wednesday sees Xavier's wound. It's clearly not like he said he was injured during fencing. This makes Wednesday even more suspicious of him. So, she follows Xavier to the wooden house. When she enters, she sees a horrifying scene. The room is full of pictures of monsters. Wednesday takes 2 pictures, then goes to the police station. She tells the sheriff that the person who draws these is probably the culprit. They should temporarily put aside their conflicts. The sheriff takes out the photo to compare. It is exactly the same as the picture. But sharing intelligence news with a little girl is too forbidden. Unless Wednesday can find exact evidence, they will be able to talk again. Because Enid is afraid of these documents, Wednesday has to move the investigation files to Eugene's room. Eugene often catches insects in the forest. When seeing the drawing, he feels very familiar. He brings Wednesday here. In the cave there are piles of animal bones. There is also a handcuff on the wall. This place is probably the monster's lair. On the stone wall, Wednesday discovers a broken nail. She went to Xavier's cabin again. If evidence having DNA matching with the broken nail can be found, Xavier is the murderous monster. Wednesday flips through the trash and pulls out a bloody towel. Xavier suddenly appears and asks what Wednesday is doing. But she asks how he knows what monsters look like. Xavier explains that this monster has been appearing in his dreams for weeks now, and how can he forget it? He can only draw it. But while drawing this picture, suddenly a claw fell out and injured him. But Wednesday can't trust Xavier. What kind of dream could be so real? He even draws out the location of its lair. After hearing this, Xavier angrily chases Wednesday away. To prove her inference, Wednesday brings the broken nail and the bloody towel to the sheriff. Hopefully he can do a test for DNA matching. Who is the suspect? You do the test first, then I'll explain everything. Now all she has to do is wait, but Wednesday doesn't sit still. She calls Eugene to explore the cave together, but she forgets about the party tonight. Thing himself types out an invitation letter to Tyler inviting him to be Wednesday's dance partner. After reading, Tyler is extremely happy. That night all her classmates bring their dance partners. But when Tyler appears at the door, Wednesday looks surprised. There was no other way for Wednesday to reluctantly go with Tyler to the prom. But that's why she misses the appointment with Eugene to explore the cave. On this side, Eugene has arrived outside the cave. At this time, a suspicious person arrives at the scene. Eugene hasn't seen his face when he throws the burning fuel bottle into the cave. A loud bang rings out. Eugene is scared and quickly runs away. At this prom, something unexpected also happens. The three guys, confronting Wednesday, connected the liquor truck's hose to the fire hose. One of them pulls the fire alarm. Fire equipment sprays wine. The prom becomes a chaos. The prom is ruined. Wednesday doesn't care, but enjoys the taste of the wine. Suddenly a person bumps into Wednesday. An illusion suddenly appears, making her see Eugene in distress. Eugene hides behind a tree and hears the monster roar. Wednesday also runs there. She calls Eugene and speeds up to find him, but Eugene unfortunately trips and the monster rushes in. When Wednesday arrives, she sees Eugene lying there, barely breathing, at which point the dormitory manager runs over. Nevermore Academy welcomes Parents Week. The principal announces a good news: Eugene, who was attacked by the monster, is recovering. But Wednesday feels extremely tormented. This event has not passed, another one has come. Parents come to school and eagerly ask their daughter how she's doing. Wednesday says that ever since you guys left me here, I've been constantly getting into trouble. Parents are extremely happy to hear this. These are the children of Nevermore Academy. But in the principal's office, she says that Wednesday finds it hard to integrate into school, and advises her parents to take Wednesday to see a psychologist. But Wednesday refuses. Because from Rowan's death to Eugene being in the observation room, the school shows a dishonest and indifferent attitude, which makes her very dissatisfied. But her parents still take her to see a psychologist. While consulting, Wednesday argues with her parents. She thinks her parents are always cheating on her, as her father was recorded to finish off someone. 32 years ago, the young principal was returning to the dormitory. A man fell from the floor. Looking up, she saw Adams holding a long sword. The police quickly arrived. The principal clearly stated the situation and the evidence was correct. Adams was quickly arrested, but for unknown reasons, he was soon released. And Wednesday is also eager to know the answer. Mom and Wednesday have a quarrel. Both of them then leave unhappily. When standing in front of the statue, she sees her mother carrying a rose into the cemetery. She stands in front of a grave for a while and then leaves. The grave's written Garrett. The sheriff receives a phone call. Something strange happens. A forensic pathologist ends his life in the morgue. He also left a will saying that he felt very regretful about the old case, saying that he had hidden the truth of falsifying the autopsy report. This case is about Adams murdering Garrett. This causes the sheriff to finally have proof. He brings police officers to the school in front of everyone, leading Wednesday's father away. Wednesday goes to prison to visit her father. She hopes her father will tell her the truth. He has no choice but to tell the truth. That year, Garrett was crazy in love with Wednesday's mother. That night, he saw them two on a date. Garrett lost his temper and furiously attacked Adams. He was driven by hatred and jealousy. Garrett became extremely mad. Adams was no match for him. During the chaos, Adams picked up the sword on the ground and stabbed towards Garrett, then he fell. This scene was accidentally seen by the principal. Dad's words are very trustworthy and his attitude is also very sincere, but the gesture of touching his beard and blinking his eyes sell him. Wednesday understands her father very well. Surely this incident definitely has a twist behind it. She goes find the sheriff and says that her father is not a murderer, because the timing is too coincidental. The forensic doctor ends his life at the same time with Dad visiting her school. Someone have definitely controlled these things to prevent her from investigating monster. But the sheriff does not support Wednesday. There is no other way for Wednesday to find her mother, hoping she would tell the truth. When mother sees her daughter, she decides to tell the truth. That rainy night 32 years ago, she never forgot Garrett's eyes. He was even foaming at the mouth, looking like a crazy monster. Seeing Garrett rush forward, she picked up the sword on the floor. Just then he rushed to the sword till he fell down. Hearing the screams, she realized what she had done. At this time, her father was extremely calm, holding the sword and admitting the murder. Wednesday thinks for a moment. Garrett was then foaming at the mouth, eyes wide opened, mentally panicked. These are all symptoms of poisoning, but there is a way to know the truth. Wednesday takes her mother to the cemetery to dig up Garrett's grave. Wednesday opened the coffin lid to discover the truth. But police on patrol catches them at the scene. They are arrested and sent to jail, next to Adam's cell. Wednesday takes out the finger she took from Garrett, which glowed blue. That means Garrett died from poisoning and also proved that before being stabbed, he was about to die. But when Wednesday gets the finger back, the illusion appears again. She sees Garrett die from a broken vial of poison inside his clothes. When Wednesday wakes up, Mom asks her what she saw. She tells her parents how Garrett was forced to poison all the misfits, but accidentally caused himself to be poisoned to die. Then they go to find the district head and take out the poisoned finger. He is not surprised. The district head soon learned the truth about the past, but to keep the peace and reputation of the town, he forced forensic evidence to falsify the record, clearing Adams of the crime. And because of that, he was elected as the district head. Now, in order to be elected mayor, he accepts Wednesday's offer to clear all charges of Adams. The sheriff's office must issue an unequivocal apology and immediately release Adams. Knowing her daughter's power, her mother tells her that this power is very dangerous and that someone must train her. When she is ready, a family ancestor will come to her, Goody Adams. When she hears Wednesday mention Goody, she reminds that Goody was an extremely powerful witch. But her hatred was so great that she could not save herself. Wednesday's father is released. All dangers have passed, making Wednesday understand her parents even more. She also no longer wonders and hugs her family. Wednesday goes to the sheriff again to ask about the DNA test. It shows Xavier's and the monster's genes do not match. The police chief also tells her that Garrett's family members were all very miserable. After he died, his mother committed suicide. His father died of alcoholism, and even his sister was found drowned abroad. Their entire family died, which makes Wednesday feel very strange. The fun weekend ends just like that. Before leaving, Mom gives her daughter her guest book. When Wednesday turns it over, she understands something. Wednesday rushes to the principal's office, revealing her ability to transform, because she had once transformed herself into her own idol. Therefore, the principal wants to hide that Rowan was murdered, so she herself transforms into Rowan to cover it up. And the principal does so purely to maintain the school's reputation. They have a heated argument when hearing a scream. Words written in fire appears on the grass. The enemy hiding in the darkness has finally appeared. In order to master her ability, Wednesday prepares to call her ancestor. After casting a spell, the doors opens and all candles go out. While she is waiting for her ancestors to arrive, her roommate Enid appears outside. Wednesday disappointingly looks at the candles on the floor. Enid thinks of using her scented candle instead. A piece of paper is thrown in, saying that if she wants to know the answer, go to the crypt at midnight. That's where Wednesday first saw Goody Adams. She and Enid come here. The sudden noise makes Enid reveals her wolf's claws in fear, and Wednesday goes into the crypt without scare. But as she enters, she discovers that it is a birthday party her friends organize for her. As a strange girl, Wednesday might like this style. Wednesday knows that this must have been idea of thing. Don't you have anything else to do? Wednesday discovers a Latin inscription that translates as when I wake up that the fire will flare up. This is the sentence on the grass at school last night. Wednesday touches it, and the illusion comes fiercely. Crackstone is calm. The noise wakes Wednesday up, seeing Goody standing behind the gate. She tells Wednesday they don't have much time left, they have to stop Crackstone. But Wednesday has to find this place first, and with that Goody disappears. It's not that Wednesday doesn't like the birthday party, it's just that her friend's gifts are terrible. Her bed looks like a coffin. The room was strewn with nails and had an execution chair. There was also a black cake shaped like a scaffold. Every gift makes Wednesday excited. But she never tells anyone about these things, only Eugene, who is in a coma. At this time her psychiatrist brings roses to visit Eugene. Wednesday doesn't think much and leaves the hospital room. Returning to the dormitory, she recalls and draws the gate that Goody mentioned. To find it, Wednesday goes to ask Tyler, but seeing that reaction, Wednesday knows her painting had been laughed at. Seeing his father, Tyler makes distance with Wednesday on purpose. Wednesday continues to look for Xavier. A few days ago he dreamed about this gate and drew it. What's even more coincidental is that he even knows where this is. This place is the Garrett family's manor, but that place had long been abandoned. Why does Wednesday want to come here? Wednesday comes here. But before she could enter the house, she suddenly sees a shadow passing by and quickly runs away. The person who comes out is the district head. He even calls the sheriff to say he knows who the culprit is behind. Thing throws a stone to draw the attention of the district head. And Wednesday takes the opportunity to get into his car. She wants to know what he has discovered. He drives back to town. The sheriff is waiting here, but as soon as the district head gets out of his car, he is hit by an oncoming car. When the sheriff comes out, the car speeds away. Seeing the district head lay dying, he has to call an ambulance first. Wednesday is surprised and gets out of the car to face the sheriff. But the sheriff is curious why Wednesday always appears at the scene of the incident. The principal gets angry because of this. She decides to close the school from now on and cancel Wednesday's right to go out freely, but there is always a way to overcome difficulties. She calls Tyler to invite him to have dinner and lie to Enid as she wants to celebrate her birthday again. Hearing this, Enid immediately uses her pass card, transforms into a wolf to take Wednesday out of school. Tyler takes them to Garrett's old house. Enid uses the werewolf's ability to break the door, and the car that hit the district head ends up here. Enid is scared and wants to call the police, but Wednesday stops her. The three continue to explore the old house. They see a photo of Garrett's family. Seeing it at night is a bit scary, but it makes Wednesday feel very excited. Going into the study room, she discovered that while everywhere is covered in spider webs, only one place is clean. Sure enough, when Wednesday presses the bookshelf, it gradually opens and inside is a worship room. Wednesday feels the candle still hot. There is definitely someone here. So the three of them split up to search. Enid discovers a strange room on the second floor. It is clean and has roses to display. On the table, there is a music box with the name of Laurel Gates printed on it. She is Garrett's sister, but the sheriff says she was drowned 25 years ago. The next second they hear Tyler's miserable scream. At the top of the stairs a terrifying figure appears walking up. They quickly hide when the monster reaches the second floor. Soon it starts to attack. Everything vibrates so strongly that the rope breaks, making the stair box fall straight to the basement. At this time Wednesday discovers another secret. The roar is getting closer and closer. Wednesday takes Enid out and then goes back to hide here. The monster is going down and angrily pushing away things in its way. Wednesday takes the opportunity to flee. The monster could only stand and watch her escape. Enid is scared and about to leave when she sees Wednesday coming back, because Tyler's still in there. When she goes, she sees Tyler's flesh torn open. At this time, Xavier appears again, making Wednesday suspicious of him. The four arrive at Tyler's house. While they are treating the wound, the sheriff pushes the door open and Wednesday tells him about her discovery. But when the two arrive, the basement is empty. The bedroom decorated with roses and a strange worship room have also disappeared. It's not the sheriff doesn't believe her. But this cannot be considered a reason to drag friends into danger. Returning to school, the principal is waiting for her. Wednesday disobeys orders and deserves to be expelled. But she takes out a painting, saying this is Rowan's warning. The principal looks very serious after watching. This painting was drawn by his mother before passing away. The prophecy on it says that Wednesday will destroy the school. But now it seems she is the one who saved the school. Wednesday has to beg for the first time. School is everything to her. The principal gives her a chance. Enid thinks she is taken advantage of and angrily moves out of the dormitory. Leave Wednesday alone. For the first time, she feels alone but doesn't give up investigating. When she picks up the music box, a few photos fall out. In the photos are her regular schedules. It turns out that the enemy has always followed her. But she is not scared at all. From Garrett's houses to his family, to the pilgrim crackstone, and the mysterious monster. And she herself is drawn into them like a spider web, all relate to each other. A black hand appears and pulls out the head's breathing tube. Wednesday doesn't care who is watching her. She will find that person. Early this morning she goes to the district head's funeral not to offer condolences but to observe everyone. Suddenly Wednesday discovers a suspicious man in black. She immediately chases after him, pulls out her sword to stab him straight. The next second Wednesday shows a surprised smile. Uncle Fester. As expected, no one in the Addams family is normal. His appearance has helped Wednesday a lot. When he looks at the painting, he understands. This monster is named Hyde, and is an extremely brutal species. Many years ago, he witnessed a Hyde that massacred a dozen people. But Wednesday claims that she has searched all the books in the library and finds no description related to Hyde. Uncle Fester tells her the documents about it are only in the diary of the school's creator, which is storing at the dark library. Wednesday, in the dark night, comes to this place. Unexpectedly she meets Xavier. The two of them quarrel because of what happened before. Wednesday then raises hair doubts. Every time a monster attacks, Xavier is on the scene. Just a few minutes after the monster disappears, Xavier appears again. The most suspicious is that Xavier never met a monster but is able to draw its portrait. These words make Xavier angry. He storms off, then Uncle Fester suddenly appears. Thing crawls on the table and it successfully opens the safe hidden here. Wednesday takes out the principal's diary. It is written that Hyde is always in a state of sleep and only wakes up when he is hurt or through some seduction. Once Hyde wakes up, it will consider the person who released it as the owner and volunteer to serve that person. Looks like the culprit Wednesday has to find is not just one person, but two. First, she believes that Xavier is a monster, so she attaches a tracking device to him and follows its instructions. Uncle Fester drives his bike and follows behind. Finally, Xavier is discovered secretly seeing her therapist. All of this makes Wednesday understand. Because therapists are very good at hypnosis, she finds the principal to ask about the situation, but the doctor appears behind her. With such a strong opponent, Wednesday feels extremely worried. Tyler gives her a cup of love coffee and despite his father's objections, he boldly proposes to go on a date with Wednesday tonight at Crackstone's crypt. Wednesday is moved. As expected, Tyler does not let her down. In the crypt filled with flashing lights, there is also popcorn and a projector. Tyler tries his best to make things both dark and romantic. They happily watch movie. Tyler confesses his love to Wednesday. I can keep pushing you away but it's useless. I almost killed you. I'm not dead. You're just lucky. I am much stronger than you thought. At this moment, the sheriff breaks in. Seeing in front of him is his son and Wednesday, he is a bit confused. I don't want to ask what this is about, but act as if I have never seen you guys. When Wednesday returns to the dorm, the room is messy. Not only the diary is stolen, but Thing is also pinned on the wall. She quickly takes Thing to Uncle Fester. He uses all his ability to successfully save Thing. Wednesday is overjoyed and swears that she would crush the culprit into pieces. She tells the principal that the monster is Hyde, but the principal doesn't find it surprising. Because she already knows everything. She doesn't reveal it to protect the school. Once the news is leaked, Nevermore School will have to close permanently. The principal refuses to help. At this time, Bianca finds her and says that the district head's son has clues related to the culprit. When he was alive, the head always followed Laura Gates. She is Garrett's sister. The document states that although she drowned, police did not find her body. The head was certain that Laura had changed her name and returned to town to take revenge on those who finished off her family. Wednesday thinks her therapist is Laura. She then goes to the clinic to check with her. But the doctor denies it. As Wednesday leaving, there was a noise in the bathroom. The doctor opens the door and the monster rushes out. The doctor is dead. Wednesday decides not to wait any longer. Before, she always doubted Xavier. This time, she saw a portrait of the doctor before her death in Xavier's wooden house. She then finds evidence in the house. Xavier is about to explain, but the police suddenly rush in and take him away. When asked, Wednesday doesn't say a word. Returning to the dormitory, she finds Enid has returned. It's true that Joy continues Joy, thinking that everything is over. Wednesday finds Tyler and wants to have a romantic date with him. But when she kisses Tyler, the illusion comes back. Wednesday is scared. It turns out Tyler is Hyde. She wrongly suspects Xavier. She couldn't accept all of this and runs away in panic. But she can't leave the culprit outside. When Wednesday knows Tyler is a monster. With the help of her friends, she ties Tyler in the wooden house. But no matter how Wednesday threatens, Tyler does not admit that he is Hyde. Wednesday picks up a saw making her friends run away. When she is about to torture him, the police rush in. Surprisingly, when returning to the station, he doesn't do anything but let her go easily. Wednesday suddenly understands the sheriff has already known that his son is Hyde. As she leaves, Tyler stops Wednesday. He appears innocent but says harsh words. What does that feel like? They all shouted. Fear in their eyes. I could still feel the fear in their bones. It felt so good, you never know what would happen. Because of the kidnapping incident, the principal expels Wednesday. She desperately goes to Xavier to say that she was being used by Tyler to harm him. Tyler is Hyde, and she hopes Xavier helps her. But Xavier was deeply hurt and does not want to get involved in Wednesday's matter, so he chases her away. But how could Wednesday give up? Then she visits Eugene at the hospital. Eugene tells her an important clue. That night, the person who burned the tomb wore red sandals. Finally she knows who is behind everything. It is the botany teacher she doesn't pay any attention to. She goes straight to the greenhouse and says the teacher is Garrett's sister Laura. You returned to school to plan revenge. When you discovered that Tyler was Hyde, she used the drug to wake him up. And the therapist who discovered Tyler's abnormality was murdered by you. The teacher doesn't want to admit it. But Wednesday tells her that Tyler has told her everything, and now she is no longer acting. "Dear Tyler, make mama happy, shut her up." But she does not expect that this Tyler is disguised by the principal. The principal advises her to stop, but the teacher stabs her with a poison needle. It soon takes the principal's life. Wednesday is also beaten unconscious. Thing sees everything. When Wednesday wakes up, she is hanging in the crypt. It turns out that Laura is a descendant of Crackstone. She wants to resurrect Crackstone and destroy all outcasts, because it was Goody Adams who killed him years ago. Goody Adams cursed him, so only the blood of Goody Adams' descendants could open the coffin lid. Laura pressed Wednesday's hand against the coffin lid. After reading the curse, the summoning ceremony begins. Black smoke rises and Crackstone also comes back to life. Seeing Wednesday's resemblance to Goody Adams, the old hatred flares up. Crackstone takes a knife to stab Wednesday, then arrogantly leaves. When Wednesday is about to die, Goody appears again. She said she has to stab Crackstone in the heart for him to disappear completely. After speaking, Goody heals Wednesday's wound. On the other side, Thing reaches out to Enid and tells her what it had seen. To keep everyone from panicking, Bianca used Siren's power to control everyone and tell them to quickly evacuate, and Enid follows Thing to the crypt. Maybe because she's too worried about Wednesday. Enid, who was unable to transform into a wolf, finally awakens. Wednesday gets out of the crypt and is stopped by Tyler. Standing in front of her, Tyler transforms into Hyde. When Wednesday is about to be killed, Enid arrives in time. A fight between Hyde and the werewolf begins. While Enid holds off Hyde, Wednesday returns to school. At this time, Crackstone opens the door, hits his wand on the ground, causing the fire to flare up fiercely. Wednesday walks up behind Crackstone, preparing to fight. Suddenly Xavier appears and shoots an arrow, but Crackstone not only catches the arrow but also launches it back towards Xavier. To save Xavier, Wednesday takes the arrow. Luckily it only sticks in the shoulder. She tells Xavier to let everyone run first. Then pull the arrow out of her shoulder, pick up the sword and fight with Crackstone. But it's not the magic sword, so as soon as touching Crackstone's scepter, it shatters, and Wednesday is also thrown away. At a critical moment, Bianca attacks Crackstone from behind but misses his heart and is immediately thrown away. Taking this opportunity, Wednesday picks up a sword fragment and stabs Crackstone's chest as hard as possible. His heart is destroyed, he loses all his magic and turns into ash. Amidst the screams, Laura appears holding a gun. When she is about to take Wednesday's life, countless bees fly in. The shy Eugene can now control the bees, and Wednesday then knocks Laura unconscious. And the fight in the forest is also about to end. Enid is no match for Hyde, the sheriff shoots his son. Enid takes the chance to kick him, causing Tyler to return to human form. The dangers of school are eliminated. Wednesday, who is always alone, also understands the value of friendship. Due to the principal's sacrifice, the school gives students a vacation. Before leaving, Xavier gives Wednesday a phone, hoping she could regularly contact her friends. You thought the story was over. Wednesday, while sitting in the car, suddenly receives a text message from a stranger, saying I'm following you. It seems that the enemy has not been completely destroyed yet. A huge conspiracy is about to begin, and Tyler is captured and transforms again. I know you're curious, but so am I. Thank you for watching the entire video.